be good enough. You doing a video right now? Okay, this is what's going on. It's, what's today, Wednesday? Tuesday. Losing track of time. Jolene has welded the round rod on the bottom of on the running board on the bottom part. Now she got to weld it from the top down. So she had to run it twice, once on the bottom, and then once on the top. She got to going around the fender here and around the running board there, so that's good. I left the mud there because I don't want it to, you know, if any heat gets on it, it holds the heat down and it don't go anywhere. So anything that we need to clean off before we start to re-mud this, we will. And what I mean by mud this is we'll use the fiberglass. It's the extra strength body fill. We'll put that on first, just to smear with the finger, just enough to say that we have it on there, just in case of anything. And then we'll put auto body filler on top of that and smooth it off. And we will put the least amount as possible, but we will put what it needs. We didn't get much done. Well, I shouldn't say much done. We got the fender done. I got the fender done on the Bugatti. I filled this out, flattened that all out. I used this, and I use it just like a block, like that, back and forth, like that, around here like this, and then I done all this with one of these. And I just crisscrossed it, you know, and tried to, you know, cut the cross grain. That's why I'm saying going like this, because when you go like that, you go this way, then that way, and then back and forth. You go every way, so the whole surface is flooded on the same playing field. And then you go until you hit metal. Till you hit metal. That's where I went. So that's what I did. Jolene did that, and I just buffed that off. And we spent most of our day driving. We spent 5 hours driving to go look at a car. And when you go look at a car, you just never know. You just never know. If you're into this business, when someone tells you something and you get there, you just never know. I can tell you this. We didn't buy it. we were kind of surprised, you know. But I want to tell you what I look for when I go buy a car. What I look for. I always look, like, I mean, let's face it, I never go and pick at somebody's car. I don't pick at anything. I don't have to pull any paint off to know anything. I don't have to poke or do anything like that to really know anything. But for starters, I like to look at the body of the car. You can hear what the engine sounds like. That's what you do to that. You just listen to it run. We did that the other day down Doug, just listening for it to run, what it sounded like. As we get looking at cars, and I come over here, I'll show you, baby. Come over here for a second. On 99% of most cars, on the door, they have a lip that folds over and bends over and bangs on. And it also has the same lip there. See that lip right there? Has the same lip that goes on the bottom all the way along. Now, that bottom lip should be the exact same size as this lip. When you look underneath here and you see a lip that's that long up in there, you should know that someone has replaced it or fixed it. You should know that when you look at that car. You should know that. When you're looking, I know it's hard to tell sometimes, but you would want to look on your driver's side here. You'd want to look there first, because that's out in the center of the road where the salt is here. And everything that we do here, or the bodywork that we do, we want everything to last, or try to last as long as it can. Like there's not, you know, we have 6 months of bad weather here. So let's face it, we have to try to protect our cars from that, and also in the summertime, the heat. Yeah, you check for wheel lips. Or for door lips. You check for the trunk lid. You check on the lip on that. See the lips on that? The exact same as what it should be on the door. You run around to the bottom of the fenders, on the fenders and the wheel wells and stuff. If you're buying a car, I'm saying if you're buying one, now I wouldn't do this to somebody else's car, for sure not. But if you're buying something, it's nice just to rub your hand in there just to see what's going on. If there's a big clump of shit in there, there's other raccoons living in there, or someone's fixed it. You know what I mean? Like there's something going on if you feel something in there that does not feel right. A wheel lip should not be this wide at the bottom and this narrow in here and then that wide out there. Well, you automatically know that someone has done something to that. And what it tells me is, if you can tell that, probably the workmanship is the exact same way. They didn't care. You know what I mean? It was meant to be fixed so they could just drive it. It wasn't meant to be restored. They didn't care what it looked like. They repaired it and they drove it. Not saying anything against it, because I'm not saying anything against it. I'm just saying if you're going to buy something and you want to know, take a look at that stuff. If it's, if it's wider down here and thinner there and wider up there, you know it's been fixed. When you look at the floors underneath, you should be able to try to find a place that resembles what the floor should look like and carry that on through the car. If one spot looks all dry and rusty and has got a piece of carpet hanging down through it, well, that must not be original. You have to realize that sort of stuff. On your front fenders, the exact same thing. You've got a wheel lip on there. All around that sort of stuff you can check. On the hood, the exact same way. You've got a wheel lip or a lip on all the way around. And if you know that that lip is not there, you know it's been repaired. Right? On the floor, I mean, if you're buying a parts car or something like that, even on your chassis and stuff, you're looking for the thickness of the metal. You would really look for the thickness of it. And to be honest with you, a lot of the stuff I would grab and see if it's okay. You know what I mean? Like a subframe on a small car, I'll give that a squeeze, because if you can squeeze it and bust it, it should not even be, if it's in whatever. It all depends on what you're buying. But if you're being told when you get there that everything is original, not fixed, and you get there and the first thing you see is mud hanging off the wheel wells, and that's too bad. Them's the days that sometimes you do not go forward, and some days you lose your time, right? Time is non-replaceable. Money, I would say 90% of the time you could win back your money if you got lucky. But let's face it, today was not the most productive day. But we did get up. I got this ground here, and we got the fender mudded off. We were hoping for a good car. It just didn't cut the bill, And it makes me smile, when you it makes me smile. But anyways, that's the sort of stuff to check. Check that sort of stuff. And if you're real particular, start checking the gas pedal. If the gas pedal's wore out, or if the brake pedal's been wore down, look like it's been used a lot. Look at your steering wheel, see that sort of stuff. What's the interior like? Is it ripped up inside? It does not take much to use up your money. If you're going to buy a car to spend money on it, know that going in. If you're going to spend money on it, I guess that's fine. But if you're not looking to spend a bunch of money, if you're looking to spend money on it, you should pick your cars wisely. As soon as you start spending money on something that you invested in, your investment gets smaller, does it not? And that's sort of where you have to know where you're going. If you're buying a parts car or an old body and you're going to fix it, see, I like to get these cheap, $400, $500, $600, $1,000. I like to get them cheap because there's so much money that has to be invested to make them go down the road. You're looking at $10,000 to $15,000 just to get a shell going down the road. Time you get your ready, get your battery, get your tires, get your brakes, get your seat in it, get a steering wheel. So you have to count on that stuff when you're going and looking at things. And if you're going out and looking at things, if you're not paying attention to this stuff and that stuff and in there and not paying attention to what it looks, you'll have to accept the wrong decision on your own. You'll have to accept that and learn from it. But if you try to keep that in mind a little bit when you're running around, check the oil, see what it smells like. Is it clean? Is it dark? Is it whatever? And that all depends on the money you're spending. Like, let's face it, if you're going to spend $1,000 on a car and it's running and driving, I ain't sniffing no oil. There's two different things going on there. But if you're, If you want to buy something and try to prosper on it, it's very hard, and you have to really pay attention to make the right decision. We thought we might buy something, put a little paint on it, and then go from there, but there was no chance of that. Yeah, so everything's still going good. Jolene's going to finish welding up the top there, go across there one more time, and I'm going to go on the other side. I'm going to go on the other inside of the Bugatti, on the fender on this side, and try to get that finished off. I also have a problem on the Bugatti. When I put the hood on the edge of the hood is straight. And as you look down that camera, probably, it shows it going like this. It kind of veers in a little bit. And that's what happens sometimes when you're making a car. Sometimes things move, you're not paying attention, or a little bit of heat or whatever. But as I got that in there, I'm going to have to put a porta power in there and jack that and bring that open again to try to get this straight to fit that hood. That's what I got to do after a bit. But right now I want to get some mud on the welds here and then flood this out and try to do this inside fender and get this side done. We won't be far off from putting some primer on it pretty quickly, you know what I mean? It'll be a week or two probably, but we'll have some primer on it in a week or two. And then it's mostly just the body. I might have to put the motor in it, check that out, and then we'll see, because there's nothing really done underneath. I'm starting to notice how much I did not do. Same thing with this, you know, there's lots of things that have to be done to this yet, but if we can get that welded up and finish that off, then we'll go on to the front fender and make that little piece. So yeah, when you're buying an old car, really pay attention, because you can be suckered. Believe me, there's people out there who tell you anything. But anyways, that's why I always say, you gotta go take a look at it. If you don't take a look at it, when you could be trying to buy a pig in a bag, and when you get it, it might be a chicken. You know what I'm saying? Alrighty, we'll see you tomorrow at 6. That's what we've been doing, and that's what we have done. We've kind of spent most of our day driving, but we got some done on that. We got a little bit done on that, so we're not losing. Just we didn't get as much done as we should have. Take the good with the bad. That's called life, ain't it? All right.